buying time, killing people next in line. Lower classes, social slime, they don't matter. Genocide, sick from water, sick from air. Making money, they don't care. Caesar shit, force of air. Fuck them back, it's only for they bomb. They shoot, they kill, they massacre, rape. They burn the kids. No one makes countries lie to your face, fight and die. Cause God forgive.
Wow, man.
Selling lies and buying time, killing people next in line. Lower classes, social side, they don't matter. Genocide, sick from water, sick from air. Making money, they don't care. See their shit, force of bear. Fuck them back, it's only fair. They bomb, they shoot, they kill, they massacre, rape. They burn the kids. No one leaves countries. Lie to your face, fight and die. Cause God forgives. Yeah. Coming back around again.
What's the date, 21st? Huh? Okay, welcome to the show. I'm your host, Ron Stevens. This is Game On right here on UCY.TV. It is January the 21st, 2016, and this is the year we push back. We got to really get moving this year. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. So many people have so much good information. There's the number of people that know what's going on now is growing so fast lately. It's ridiculous. So it's time that we do something positive, and that is we got to really push back hard. And one of the places I'm going to start at here is the police boards. We're going to start laying paper on the police boards ASAP. After years of trying to figure out who actually is responsible for the police, we've got it in writing now in their own acts that it is your municipal level. And I keep saying, I've been saying it for years, it's the municipal level. That's where we live. That's where we go get them. Okay? That's where we go get them. All of this garbage that's coming at us is coming at us from right where we live, in your little municipal hall, where these satanic jackasses hide under cover pretending to be your representatives. They represent you in no way, shape, or form. They're liars, deceivers, cheaters, criminals. That's all they are. They have. There's nothing honorable about these people at your local municipal hall. Nothing whatsoever honorable about them. And they've been given a free ride forever. And it's time to tell them that ride's over, folks. The ride is over. The free ride, anyway, is over. Now the ride gets real bumpy. You're on a bumpy road now. And you might want to get your fillings checked before you tangle with us, because it'll shake your fillings loose for sure. Now, the police boards, I've been assaulted in court on many occasions, and I haven't done anything wrong. I mean, I haven't done anything wrong to end up in court. This is all an intimidation ploy on their part, and going through how all this nonsense works and reading more documents than I care to ever remember. I finally get down to the point that, it's pretty freaking sad. Well, this doesn't matter where you live. Again, I keep saying it really doesn't matter where you live. All of these people take a oath here to the Queen Crown Corporation, in the states to the state corporation. None of these people that say they represent you. They can't represent you. They didn't take an oath to represent you. They took an oath to represent a corporation. So that makes them less than honorable, because they would allow you to believe or put forward so that you do believe that they actually represent your best interest, when in fact they don't. They don't represent anything of your interest. And they're just vultures, really, jackals, playing a dirty game on us. So when I look back, I have several towns, municipal halls, that have caused me considerable harm, a lot of it through the police. And because the police board hearing we were at, there's no excuse for these people anymore. Even the mayor's sitting there and going, this was Wes Gray, in Ontario, rural Ontario, sitting at the head of the table as the chair of the police board, and we tell him, you say, you guys are the ones that are liable for the behavior of the police. And they're kind of like, what? This is how stunned these people are. The mayor even said, I said, it's in the book. And the mayor of West Gray goes, well, yeah, there's a lot of stuff. There's a big book, Ain't that big, jackass? Read it. See, everybody depends on lawyers, right? These clowns that work in municipal hall, the CAOs, the mayors, the councils, the treasuries, all of these people are run by lawyers. Well, I don't know. I better go ask the lawyer. Well, wait. I'll have to confer with the lawyer. It's all run by lawyers. That's the whole game. And there ain't nothing good about a lawyer. I hear people say there's good cops and bad cops. No, there ain't. There's bad cops, and then there's stupid cops who think they're good cops. How can you be a good cop when you take an oath to a corporation to protect the corporation against the very people you think you're supposed to be protecting? That's just stupid. So you got stupid cops and bad cops. Bad cops don't give a damn about nothing except getting their jollies off by hurting people. And the stupid cops actually think they're good cops because they wouldn't do some of the things some of these other cops would do to you. A rabid cop and a stupid cop will get you to the same position, likely in front of a court, in front of a judge, where the vultures and the jackals can feed off your bones. So let's make 2016 the year we get to work, because time is short now. Lots of good news. You got more and more judges just kind of getting the hell out of the way, and you got more and more cops that are kind of going, we went to that police board hearing on a Monday. On Friday, I got a call from one of the guys at the police board hearing with us, and he called me up to let me know that the chief of police had decided it's time to get the hell out of there and retire. We're going to bring some paper against the other ass, the deputy chief, who threatened to assault me and arrest me for trespass. I was attending a public police board meeting, and this guy got so upset with reality. He couldn't deal with reality, this deputy chief. He just couldn't deal with reality. He couldn't deal with the fact that the guys that hired him are the guys that are responsible for their actions. So the cops are running around thinking they're being protected, because it's very difficult to get a cop into court. And we don't have to get a cop into court. We just go to the police board here and sue them. Any harm that's come to you, you get assaulted by a cop, you go to the police board and you sue them. Because the police board hired and are vicariously liable, because they're the employer, they're responsible for the actions of the employee, and they're also in the parent position, and they are liable for the actions of their children. If a child goes and burns a barn down, the child is not going to go to court. It is the responsibility of the parent. And so with that role, it's time to go and start laying paper onto these police boards. They are responsible. They're well insured, and they want to keep it quiet so as possible. But we're going to start a newspaper, and we're going to flog this nonsense that we're being beat on by. And we're going to open that can wide open. So I invite everyone who's ever been hassled, lied to, screwed around by a policeman or a woman. And I don't give if you got a speeding ticket, jaywalking ticket, or anything. If something that policeman said was not true, then you go lay paper on the police board. Okay? We give them no room. None whatsoever. And justice is now at our discretion. Okay? Cop pulls you over, gives you a ticket. You say, oh, you don't have to do that. Oh, yes, I do. Actually, no, you don't. Okay? Because it's at your discretion. So for you to tell me that you have to give me this ticket is bullshit. Okay? And you are intent on harming me if you give me that ticket when you know you don't have to give me that ticket. When I explain to you you don't have to do it, and you are adamant that you do have to, knowing damn well you don't have to, sue the police board. Sue the police board. Just keep dragging these asses into court or into small claims court, which costs next to nothing. And instead of the people being fearful of the police and the municipal hall, it is time the police and the municipal hall got fearful of who they ought to be fearful of, and that's the people. No more cry down, no more going, oh, I'll get in trouble. We were born in trouble, folks. It's the time to get us out of trouble. And the time to get us out of trouble is to get very forward about what's going on. It is time. It is much time. I mean, you got this clown now. You got this clown that calls himself the prime minister of this country. I mean, look at these prime ministers. Look at these presidents. Okay? We had Clinton. Now his crazy wife wants to be the president. You got the Bushes. You know, Grandpa Bush was up to his ass in the war in Germany, as was the Ford Company. Okay, all making big profits off a war that was created for what reason? What reason only? To further their goal of world government and to get the United Nations established and the state of Israel. That's the only reason for World War II. Millions upon millions of good, honest people slaughtered. So these jackasses can get what they want. Well, it's time that we turn the tables on them. And every single place, I mean, the whole world's cut up into municipalities or townships or villages or whatever you want to call them. And every one of those has a local council, and every single local council is doing the bidding of the guys that killed all those people in the world wars and continue to kill these people in order to move the world to where they want it. It's time we decided what we want, not to follow along by these criminals. It's time we decided what's going to go on in our municipalities or townships or whatever you want to call it. Parishes, some of them are parishes, because all of this came out of Rome. Okay, it's all based on so-called Roman law and Roman religion or Catholic religion. It was all the church. And then they did a little bit of rebranding and stuff, okay? And it's a false church, okay? Just like legal is false law, okay? Set up to deceive and harm and steal from you. Now, if you don't mind being deceived and you don't mind being lied to and you don't mind getting beat around and you don't mind being stolen from, well, go have a beer and watch some more TV. If any of those things bother you, then let's make 2016 the year that we do something about it, okay? And I am absolutely anti-violence. I mean, if you come to my house and you try to hurt somebody here, I will get violent on your ass. That's a different story. Okay, but this idea is that we're going to go shoot all this and all that, or whatever, is just stupid. No. They took us by paper. We're taken back by paper. They papered us. We'll paper them. Okay. The one thing the legal system understands is paper. And we understand now that the police board is the one responsible for the police. And the municipalities are a legal entity requiring paper. Law does not require paper. Legal requires paper. Okay? So they've papered us with their bylaws and their nonsense and what you can and can't do and yada, 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 yada. They papered us. See, you can't do that. It's on the paper. It's legal. And you're part of the body politic, so you have to do what the paper says. Okay. If I got to do what the paper says, then you got to follow the paper rules too. Here's the paper rules. You're in charge of the police. Police harm me. Here's your ticket. Okay? We'll just start issuing tickets to the police boards. Here's your ticket. Pay up. If you don't pay up, I'm going to drag your ass into court. Then you'll pay up. And we'll just paper them. And that's, we're going to start firing paper out like lickety-split. If you need paper, a friend of mine who we're renovating his house right now, and we're doing that on behalf of, he's a nice guy, and he's got a bone problem and a hip problem, and so we're basically doing it pro bono, if you will, but basically free labor. And but he was a paralegal for 18 years, and I should get him on the show one of these days, because he is, like he says, I've got drawers and drawers and drawers of paperwork, claim papers and that, just ready to roll. So maybe we'll pick out some of the better ones, and I'll put them up on my blog or something, and it basically fill it out and fire it in at them. Make it easy as possible on us. And that's the way it's got to be. Now, I just got a notice in here a bit ago, and this is from British Columbia Hydro. BC Hydro must remove more than 88,000 smart meters because they're junk, and they're blowing up, I guess, and they don't work, and yada, yada, yada. Now, the smart meter, smart anything, okay? If you see the word smart, get the hell away from it. Smart, see, the world is upside down, okay? It is completely upside down. Law's on the bottom, legal's on the top. We got to get law back to the top, legal, we just got to flush that idea right down the toilet. So it's upside down. So when you see the word smart, think stupid, okay? I eat smart bread. I know, because you're stupid. I have a smart meter. Isn't that stupid? You know, so, okay, smart means stupid, is what it means. The world's upside down, so learn the language. Anyways, BC Hydro must remove more than 88,000 smart meters, let's see, that are either faulty or not meet Measurement Canada standards, public records show. Now, these smart meters were concocted by people like Rockefeller, Morris Strong, which is henchman, and the United Nations, the IMF, the World Bank, and yada, 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 yada. It's not something that the people of BC dreamed up or concocted or engineered or anything else. This was, again, foisted down at the local level upon the people by the globalists. Okay, so the story goes. On top of that, the Crown Corporation wants to replace 82,000 old analog meters, and the Crown Corporation, of course, is owned by the Crown. And the Crown is in England, has nothing to do with this place, except Canada is also a corporation owned by the investors that created it. So, you know, they say, well, this is the BC Crown. BC is just another freaking corporate entity that does the bidding of its upper corporate entities or else. And being a signatory, to the United Nations and a member state of it, it does what it's told. That's why we have smart meters. Anyways, the total bill will be at least 20 grand. But of course, there's always the upside. Despite this information contained in a request for proposals to supply the new meters, BC Hydro's Vice President of Customer Service, Keith Anderson, said he's confident. Most of the province's 1.9 million smart meters, will last at least 20 years. We're pretty confident. Well, you could have said you're confident. Pretty confident is a word that means you're not confident. We're kind of confident. Well, maybe they'll last. Well, we're pretty confident. We'll let him run with that. Meaning he's not confident at all. At this point, we'll get the life expectancy we wanted and expected, Anderson said. BC Hydro estimates that by 2019, it will need to remove 40,000 faulty or failed meters and another 48,000 meters for testing to see whether they still meet Measurement Canada's accuracy standards. Hydro says those meters found to meet standards will be put back in its inventory. The call for bidders closed January 14th. New meters cost $2 each, including installation. Anderson said he was unable to release the budget for the replacement project and could not comment on the length of warranty for smart meters from supplier Itron. That's commercially sensitive to Itron, Anderson told the province. It's something that we negotiated out past their regular warranty provisions. So it's outside the normal warranty provisions, which means it don't mean jack shit. It's like the makers of the vaccinations or those who inject your vaccinations can't be held liable for any problems. Under its old analog system, BC Hydro exchanged about 40,000 meters per year. Doubts have been raised elsewhere in North America about the lifespan of smart meters. The 2014 annual report by the Office of the Auditor General of Ontario said distribution companies were consulted. We consulted said the 15-year estimate is overly optimistic compared to 40 years for an analog meter. The report said the smart meters are like other types of information technology subject to upgrades, short warranties, and malfunctions. Moreover, they will likely be obsolete by the time they are re-verified every 6 to 10 years by Measurement Canada. So we had meters that had a 40-year lifespan. These are probably going to have a 6, maybe 10 if you're really lucky. But they're going to be like an old computer. It's not worth upgrading. So it's junk. Okay? So all these governments talking about sustainability are going to have a very large disposal problem for all of these stupid / smart meters. Last October, the Chief Information Officer for the Ohio-based First Energy told the U.S. Congress Subcommittee on Power System Security that the lifespan is 5 to 7 years. Oh, it's getting lower and lower all the time. These devices are now computers, so they have to be maintained, Bennett Gaines testified. Anderson said he was not familiar enough to comment on either the Ontario report or that testimony, but said BC Hydro units are more advanced. Sure they are. NDP critic Adrian Dix doubts both the 20-year life estimate and planned 20-year amortization period, and in the 2011 business plan, the project was budgeted for $930 million. So you're going to go into a whole lot more debt, and of course, you are the end payer, or the end user, which means you're the payer, and their intention is to continue to cram up your hydro rates so you use less energy while they keep raising the debt level on the cost of dealing with these stupid meters and the transmission and everything. I mean, it's just such a bad scam. It's ridiculous. Anyways, the tendering documents also show that the Crown Corporation wants to replace 4,180 units by the end of March with ones that are cellular compatible. Those non-communicating units removed from rural areas and behind concrete walls will be returned to Hydro's inventory, Anderson said. Health concerns motivate holdout. Liz Walker finds herself among a dwindling group of BC Hydro customers who refuses to convert from an analog meter to a smart meter. A lot of people folded because they couldn't afford the legacy fees that they were being railroaded to accept they were charging them extra money if you want to keep an analog meter because they would have to send someone out to read the meter. So they kept jerking them around, probably calling them up and harassing them, and they can't afford it because their hydro bill keeps going up. So according to this, Liz Walker pays $32.40 extra a month to keep her analog meter because it has to be read manually at her house in Surrey and a property she inherited in Peachland. Now, they're charging her $32.40 a month, okay, for her analog meter. Now, all it has to do is be read, okay? The meter's already there. And so they're charging $32.40 for someone to come out and actually look at it and read it. Now, up here near the beginning of the story, if I can find it again, new meters cost $200 each, including installation. Okay? So that's the price of the meter and the installation. Okay? So that's $200. And I don't know what the meter itself cost. I'm probably going to say if we just go half and half, so installation's $100, the meter cost $100. So it cost $100 to put that there. And they're charging her $32.40 a month to have somebody walk up to her house and read it. Total ripoff. BC Hydro installed 1.9 million smart meters from 2011 to 2013, but backed away in July 2013 from proposing smart meters on 68,000 holdouts. Keith Anderson's Hydro's Vice President of Customer Service said there are now fewer than 14,000 customers paying extra to keep analog meters or use smart meters with the radio switched off. A BC Hydro tender. Okay, so you're paying, let me get this one straight. Keith Anderson, Hydro's Vice President of Customer Service, said there are now fewer than 14,000 customers paying extra to keep their analog meters or use smart meters with the radio switched off. So you got a smart meter on your house, but you said I want it so that it can't function right. So now they're being paid. So they still got the smart meter. It's just not acting as a smart meter. So they're paying the difference. So they managed to get them onto the houses and agreed that they wouldn't use the electronics in it or the computer in it. And so those people have to pay extra. A BC Hydro tender calling for installation companies forecast 8,200 legacy to smart exchanges in the next 4 years. Walker said her original 1968 analog meter was replaced last summer with another analog one after the accuracy seal expired. That meter has been sitting on the house since 1968. No muss, no fuss, doesn't blow up, doesn't burn, and any of the other problems might come from a smart meter. And it worked fine. Our energy costs were low. Our capacity to manufacture goods was high, and Canadians lived a pretty decent standard of living for the most part. And all that has changed because isn't the only hope for the planet that the industrialized nations collapse? And isn't that our duty, obligation, or whatever, to help bring that about more strong? It's a war, folks. It's war, and we're going to have to push back. There's no point complaining when you're, laying on your back in a ditch and they're filling the ditch in and covering you up with dirt. It's a little late to complain. It's a little late then to do anything about anything. Okay, and I don't give a damn what anybody says. I don't care how far up their asses they're trying to keep their heads. You have an obligation to your forefathers, your families, children, grandchildren, and those that come afterwards. You have an obligation. If you're breathing, you got an obligation to each other. And it isn't an obligation to sing, "We are the world," right? You know, start singing, "We are the people." We ain't putting up with these jackasses any longer that want to control the world and say the world we want. And we're willing to kill anybody to get it. We already proved it. And we're still proving it. We got to get rid of these clowns. We got to take this back. Well, let's see here. Walker, who said she worked as a chemical technician in BC Hydro's Power Tech lab for 10 years until 1990, is concerned about health risks of radio frequency electromagnetic fields. She said Hydro tried to convince her that the stucco walls at her Surrey house would reduce exposure levels. The problem was, Walker says, my meter would end up behind that stucco wall and too close for comfort to her son's room. Now, this is somebody to work for BC Hydro. What's it take, people? In 2011, the World Health Organization's International Agency for Research on Cancer classified radio frequency electromagnetic fields as a possible carcinogenic to humans. Well, where do you think these damn smart meters came from? The boys that created the United Nations. Where do you think the vaccines came from? The boys that created the United Nations. Where do you think GMOs came from? The boys who created the United Nations. And Israel, of course. Okay? So then they put up, so people go, "Oh, look, the World Health Organization says that, you know, it could cause possible carcinogenics in humans." Oh, so the World Health Organization cares. No, they don't care, you twit. They're a player in this whole nonsense. But people still think the United Nations or some organization of the United Nations has your best interest at heart. Nothing could be further from the truth. Okay? The United Nations was created by the most evil of the evil that the planet has ever known. And like that song, Working Man Hero, I think it is, John Lennon. You know, they tell you there's still room at the top. If you can smile as you kill, or whatever. There's still room on the hill if you can smile as you kill. Now you go look at, I don't know, Hillary Clinton or any politician, especially upper level politicians. They always smiling, but we're going to bomb the hell out of them people over there. But I'm smiling at you. Am I on camera? Are we rolling? We rolling? Okay, I smile. Yeah. We don't want to hurt no one, but we're going to have bomb the piss out of them because, well, you know, there's a lot of money in it, a lot of control in it, and we are pushing for our agenda, the world we want. Anyways, let's see what else we got here on this particular. In 2011, Health Canada document. So that's a corporate health document, Canada being a corporation. So the very corporation that is slamming you with smart meters. However, see, we have the World Health Organization, of which Canada is a member state of, and we sign treaties with these clowns, and then we have to abide by them. That's why Prime Minister Trudeau finds himself in a bit of a pickle when he promised to legalize marijuana and now finds out that Canada, the corporation, and their agents and directors have signed agreements and letters of intent and treaties, which is going to make it very difficult for Mr. Trudeau to fulfill his promise. And therein lies the rub, okay? We do as we're told, and each successive government signs us on to more of these United Nations nonsensical treaties and that, and then we're bound by them. So while the World Health Organization says that it's possible that these electromagnetic fields could cause cancer in humans, which makes perfect sense because the guys that set up the United Nations want to massively depopulate the planet. So you would think that pretty much anything they do is bad for you and I. People fighting fluoride and GMOs and geoengineering. This is how stupid people are. I put a post on Facebook one time there and called chemtrails, and a guy come back and corrected me. This is how stunned people are. You have to watch your language because really you should use the term geoengineering, because if you use the word chemtrails, well, they think you're a conspiracy theorist. The guy that wrote that, I only got one thing for you to say: shut up. You're an idiot. Okay. They're trying to kill everybody, and you want to be politically correct somehow. Give me a friggin' break, you twit. Anyway, so the World Health Organization says, oops, might not be so good for you. But then we already knew that. That's why we made the damn things. But of course, the same year in 2011, Health Canada document, however, says that exposure from smart meters does not pose a public health risk. Survey results have shown that smart meters transmit data in short bursts. And when not transmitting data, the smart meter does not emit RF energy. Walker is hoping a BC Supreme Court class action lawsuit against BC Hydro gets a green light from the courts. Good luck with that. Justice Elaine Adair reserved her decision December 11th. Smart meter foes want refunds and choices to return smart meters for analog meters. I don't think financially the province can afford this program, especially if we're going to replace smart meters within a decade, Walker said. Now, I heard that, let me see if I can find this. I thought I saw something about smart meters being recalled here in Ontario. I can't be 100% certain. Let me just see if I can dig that out. Let's see. See if we can find it here. I don't know. Oh, here it is right here. This is so much easier, isn't it? I remember back in the 70s when I was starting to do some research, figuring out that something just wasn't right in this planet, and how much effort it was to go into the big libraries and start going through them reference books. It was like, if you've ever read Hansard's, from the legislatures, it's about as painful as that, because you go through these Hansards looking for little bits and bobs of information, and you got to weed through all this garbage to get at what you're looking at or what you're looking for. And this deal here is pretty quick here with the internet, pretty fast. Anyways, thousands of smart meters to be replaced in Ontario. Over 5,500 smart meters in Ontario will be replaced because of a risk they could catch fire. The Electrical Safety Authority is directing local utilities to replace the smart meters as a preventative step after review problems associated with smart meters in Saskatchewan. The specific meter is the Icona Generation 3.2 remote disconnect meter manufactured by Census. The ESA's review found the model was susceptible to failure where there was a build of water and contaminants in the meter. The probability of a serious safety incident in Ontario is low, said David Colley, ESA's president and CEO. We're issuing our order as a proactive preventative step. Even if the risk is low, it's better to react now and remove that risk altogether. Well, then why don't you remove all of the green energy scam, put the scrubbers on the coal plants, get rid of somebody's gas plants, because according to the senior policy advisor that I talked to some years back, that the coal plants with scrubbers on them are far less safe for human health, or far healthier for people than are the gas-fired plants, which kind of threw me. And I asked for an explanation, and the guy told me, well, the emissions from the gas plants are high level, ground level ozone, and the particulate is so fine it's very difficult for the body to deal with it. So we put up wind and solar, which really don't do anything. They're there to create cash flow and carbon credit creation, and the real power is still coming from fossils, if you will, instead of coal gas. But gas, apparently, according to the senior policy advisor for the Ministry of Energy, are more dangerous than are the coal plants with scrubbers on them. And whether you replace a few smart meters or not, you still have not contained the fraud that has been unleashed upon the good people throughout the world. Let's see. Sask Power Authority recalled some smart meters from homes in that province due to the risk of fire last year. More than 100,000 meters had to be removed as a result of 9 fires associated with the meters. The Ontario Energy Board said in August 2014 the same model is not used in Ontario, but 36 of the province's 77 utilities use other models by the same manufacturer. Well, okay, so the OEB said in 2014 we don't use that model, but then up here at the top in 2016 story, wait a minute, we don't use those, but we're going to replace a whole bunch of what we don't use. How's that happen? But the Ontario Energy Board is the pinnacle of the scam. The Ontario Energy Board was created. It's a separate board. It's really, as was described to me by the either the Ministry of Energy or the Premier's office. I think it was the Premier's office. The Ontario Energy Board is really not even in Ontario. That's how separate that board is. Okay, it's really basically an international board that is charged or sanctioned with the control of your price increases in your energy. And the Ontario Energy Board is a direct result of the fraud that started way back with Bob Rae when he brought his godfather, Maurice Strong, to Ontario to reorganize Ontario Hydro. It wasn't here to reorganize it. He was here to sell it off to his buddies because Maurice Strong is a con man extraordinaire right up there with Rockville and the boys, and bleed it off and help to do what he said needed to be done, and that was the only hope for the planet is if the industrial nations collapse, and he was brought in here to help collapse it. And bleed off funds for his friends. Like they said, two purposes of renewable energy are cash flow, that's out of your pocket in their pocket, and the creation of carbon credits. And Maurice Strong was also in business with Al Gore when they ripped off a pile of other people. And so they set up carbon credit trading and then monetize something that is just a gas. That's just a, CO2, freaking nuts. So the Ontario Energy Board is a direct result of Maurice Strong. It's a direct result of Ken Lay of Enron. It's a direct result of the NDP, the Conservative Party, and the Liberal Party in Ontario, all up to their ass in this. Every one of them just moving one stage after the next stage after the next stage to get what they want, just like World War I and World War II and every war we've had since. It's each one of these things is a stepping stone, okay, to get to where they want to get to. So now the Ontario Energy Board exists and has the sole authority to raise your energy rates. And it is so far removed from Ontario that not the Minister of Energy, the Premier's office, Lieutenant Governor, the legislature, nobody has the authority to tell those at the OEB what to do. And that's what they call responsible government here. And I've said it a million times before that the whole scam started back with Bob Ray and Morris Strong, the godfather of Bob Ray, and has moved forward. And in 2000, I think it was 2000, Jim Wilson was the Minister of Energy in Ontario, and he was being flown down to Houston, Texas, to visit with Ken Lay as they put this scam together at the very same time that all the nonsense was going on in Qualicum, all the manipulation of the power plants was going on in California, controlled by Enron, and at the very same time. And in those emails that are on my blog, CanadianTruths.wordpress.com, you will see them talking about their concern about what's going on in California. And this was just on the tipping point, just when Enron was about to go down. And meanwhile, Jim Wilson was being flown down to Enron to visit with Ken Lay in Houston, putting this scam together, which we are all across this nation having to deal with now. And during that time, anybody of any importance whatsoever in the Ministry of Energy had an Enron lobbyist attached to it. In those emails, it discusses how the media agreed to come on board, the manipulation through the media of the propaganda of this great new system. It's all a great, big, in-your-face fraud. And we have to deal with it. And we better deal with it, okay? Our energy rates should have never risen. There was no need for it. They told us that Ontario Hydro was this monolithic monopoly that had to be broken up because we had to get competition into it. There was no competition, but the rates were in good shape. And now we have no competition. There never was any intent to create competition. There was an intent only to rape it. And by raping Ontario Hydro, you got raped. And you continue to get raped. And the idea is to continue to rate you at greater extent all the time as they continue to drive up your energy rates. So we need to paper these clowns as well. Now let's see. Here's some news. Oh, look at this. This is wonderful, eh? They will try to do you any way they can. Edmonton health official says ill Syrian refugees are overwhelming the health center. Now, I hadn't heard that. Hadn't seen that yet. What else we got on this page? Let's see here. Let's see. Well, let's go look at this story. See, let's see. CP lays off 1,000 workers. Okay, let's go look at this real quick. There's a very little story in it. Guy stealing pizza would have garnered a bigger story than this, maybe. Thursday, January 21st, there's another sign. The surge of Syrian refugees in some places is pushing the system to the brink. Global News has obtained a letter that says so many refugees are ill when they arrive in Edmonton that healthcare staff are unable to cope. That's just brilliant. Just freaking brilliant. And that's all there is to that story. That's a very short story. Here's somebody. Rachel Notley. These are really cool little. What am I looking at here? What is this? What is this thing? Global News Toronto. Rachel Notley receives threats over Bill C-6, Sunday, December 3rd. Oh, that's a long time ago. Um, okay, who cares? Um, Alberta economy is under unprecedented stress. Our climate change plan stands on its merits. This is from this same idiot NDP clown. Let me see what. Why are these stories so short? This is freaking me out here. I click on these things and there's. Oh, okay, it's a video. There's a piece of work. Anyways, politicians in general should really be tied up somewhere, put in a home somewhere. There's got to be something done with these people. I don't know how many times or how many ways I can say it. Okay? Every single politician in this so-called country, which is a corporation, all of the police, all of the military, all of the judges, and so on and so forth, okay, all take an oath to the crown. Which is really just a fiction. That's how stupid these politicians are. Do you solemnly swear, yada, 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 to be loyal to the Queen, the Crown? Yeah. Well, what's a crown? It's a wreath. Who uses a wreath? The United Nations. Get the connection? Okay? None of these people do represent you. They can't represent you because everything they do is in the fictional realm, and you're not a fiction. So we just got to get down to the local level, because your local politicians take the same damn oath, and they don't represent you. They're basically just tax farmers for the crown. You look up farmer, the original word farmer wasn't about somebody growing whatever. They were tax collectors. They were farming taxes. Okay? So back in the good old days when we were in the feudal system, which we still are, according to one of the people I talked to at the Attorney General's office, agrees that we're still in the feudal system. Which was actually a better system, if you think about it, than what we've got now. In the old feudal system, you were granted land. Of course, if they got into a war, you were expected to go to war, and you were charged a small tax or whatever, and that's what they did. The king granted out land to his buddies, large chunks, and then those buddies of the king cut it up into smaller chunks. So you have a province or a state, and then you have counties, and then you have municipalities or whatever, and then you have towns and that. So they kept cutting it up into smaller and smaller chunks as each tier of the king's buddies, right? So the king's buddies got the whole state, and then he was farming that tax, but then he subbed chunks of it out to his friends and to get the cut. And then those friends subbed it out to other friends, and it kept cutting it up in smaller and smaller pieces. But it was all about tax farming as it is today. The only difference then was they granted you the use of the land. And now you pay a real estate agent, and you pay a lawyer, and you pay a bank for 25, 30 years for the exact same privilege of being on the land that the king used to just grant you with the certain things he wanted from you. So this is like way worse than the feudal system. Anybody thinks we're out of the feudal system. You ain't out of the feudal system. It's been rebranded. You're still in the feudal system. You're still subject to the king or the queen, whatever you want to call it, or the pope. You are still subject to, you are still subservient to, you are subject to, and therefore you are a slave of. Or you could look at it as you are a ward of the state. Now, if you're a ward of the state, then the state owes you. And this is where they're trying to bring us to with the guaranteed income, okay? Because you are wards of the state, you are subjects, and so by definition of that, you are the child in their house, and as a child in their house, they must make sure that you're clothed and housed and fed and all that kind of stuff. So we've been working for all this stuff. And working for it and buying it and paying it. This is all legal system, right? Of which the Queen Crown is at the apex hub. All commercial, all corporate. So I'm just thinking, we're 2/3 of the way through January. Time flies pretty fast. And if we do not use the knowledge that we have gathered over the years, and a lot of people, I've been at this basically every day for the last 9 years. I know I always knew there was something wrong, but these last 9 years have been of intense research. I don't listen to a lot of other people's videos. I don't listen to a lot of other radio shows. I go digging around the Rockefeller Foundation, the UN, and their different agencies, or I find somebody from my own province who, says something, and then I go try to attach them to the United Nations. Usually works out, but a lot of times you find some documents that on food or vaccines or whatever, and it's tough because. UN documents, Rockefeller documents, they tend to be, they're written so screwed uply, if that's a word, I guess I can use that word, that it takes a bit of getting used to read them. They're written in such a form that most people will read a few paragraphs and go, I want to do this shit. And it's written like that on purpose, right? They publish everything they're doing, but most people, it gives them a headache to read it. We pretty well know what we need to know now, and we need to not be fearful. Make 2016 the year of no fear, it's time for major pushback. And if they're gonna do us with the legal system, I think we have enough tools now that we can turn the legal system on top of them, and use their own system, which they have used to enslave us. And hurt us. And if you go to the old, thing, do unto others, you would have them do unto you. Well, we've been being done unto for a very, very long time, and it's time to basically return the favor, because if they're doing unto us what they wish others would do unto them, then it's a time that we accommodate that idea and paper their asses. Just like they papered ours. So we can use the system, their system, even though it's a phony system, it's a fictional system. But until we get back to real law, I think one of the ways we can push them in that direction is to show them how painful their legal system can be when you're on the wrong end of it. So we just have to put them on the wrong end of it, that's all. And that's I think is going to clean this up. I hear music. I hope somebody got something out of what I said. And if not, we'll try again next time. Next time we're back on Saturday night over our Revolution Radio, broadcast back over at UCY, and then Sunday. So thanks for listening, and if you got some good information, send it to me, and we'll see you on Saturday night, hopefully. Okay, take care, everybody. He is over. And